Sorry. Can you start by saying what can fans expect from this first season?
I wish I knew. No, I'm just kidding. This first season is going to be intense. The great thing about this series is that they never. There's very few things that are repeated. You know how like procedurals get so boring, but then you're kind of obsessed with them, like Law and Order, SVU. You're like, I don't care. It's gonna be the same thing every episode. It's so good. This show moves fast, so you can pick up on certain things. If you miss an episode, you can obviously understand what's going to be happening. It's just the nature of that type of show. But there's going to be new things every single episode that just catapult the storyline, and it's so intense, and it's written very much like a film, which I love. That was one of the most appealing aspects for me, and the fact that Mark Pellington directed our pilot. He's doing episode 2, and I think episode 4. He's an executive producer now, I believe, and his tone and how dark it is just so cinematic. And I think TV is really paving the way for strong female characters that are relatable. Screw movies.
Have you by any chance spoken to Wentworth Miller about playing a TV character with lots of tattoos?
I haven't spoken to him, but I might call him and ask him if he grew a third arm or not, because I don't know. I've got some fun stuff on right now that they put on me yesterday at the Blindspot exhibit. The tattoos are awesome. And I said one of the reasons, I wear them so much in the show and I'm not covered as much is because I said to them, don't skimp out. If we're going to do this tattoo thing, I want to wear them all the time. I know it's going to be hard. It's totally fine. Because I said the worst thing that happens in television or in film is that they'll just cover you up because they're cheap. And they're like, we don't want to put her through that. Let's just put a jacket on her. And I'm like, no, I'll be in a tank top. Let's do it because it's such an important part of the show.
How long does it take to cover your...
So my entire body takes 7.5 hours to put the tattoos on, and I can't sit down, so it gets a little rough towards the end. But we have a great crew. It's the guys from Tinsley Studios. They do like everything that's badass. It's so great. They're such nice guys, and they come and we blast the Beatles on Pandora and watch Daniel Boone reruns. That's the only thing on at 3:30 in the morning. And we just get through it. And then once I'm in them and I start moving my arms around, it kind of cracks them a little bit, and then I'm able to move around really easily, and it doesn't bother me. I don't know. Some people get claustrophobic in them. Poor stunt girl who's been with me for way too long. She's like, I cannot believe you're making me do this. I was like, you had to wear a double corset on Thor. I was like, relax. It's not that bad.
Could you talk a little about the relationship between Jane Doe and Kurt Weller?
Yes.
She seems to rely on him instinctively right away, which is unusual.
I think because you can tell, I think the one thing that Jane has is her gut instinct and intuition. That's all she has. So for some reason with this guy, his name is tattooed on her back, so she's like, I need to, I think subconsciously she's saying, I need to stay close to this guy because he might have some answers for me. But he also, there's these moments where they have this connection that it's like, okay, I get you and you get me and I can help you and you can help me, so we need to know each other. We're going to explore all kinds of things with them. It's not going to be what you think. It's not a love interest right away, if ever. I do know we have good chemistry. I've been told that. He's my buddy. He's cool. But what's really going to be happening is he's going to aid her in finding out who she is, helping her find out who she is. She's going to aid him in opening up a little bit because he's got a lot of dark secrets. He's got a lot of things going on. Each character is so multidimensional, but it's not overloaded. So it's yeah.
And what about Johnny Whitworth? That man doesn't even have a name yet.
He doesn't. All he is the man. Yeah, I was like, Johnny, look at what they're calling you, dude. Come on. I don't know how great his involvement will be in the show. Yet again, we don't get too much in the beginning, especially me. So it's just anything could happen. The craziest thing is any of these characters could die. They aren't nobody's safe. Maybe I am because I have all the clues on my body. But it's an interesting thing. They're not going to follow the formula of most procedurals. This is going to be a very interesting go. Again, like I said, it's very cinematic. So they're going to see if this hybrid works. And so far, the feedback is that it does.
So do you think you continue to explore this character and learn more about her and everything? Are you finding that you're surprised to learn anything about yourself as an actress?
Oh, as an actress. Oh, I thought you meant about Jane. I was like, wait till episode 7. I was like, you want me to what? For me as an actress, it's funny. I haven't had this opportunity in about 8 years to play this kind of character. The last time I had this opportunity was Kyle XY, where I could actually have scenes where you could see that I could act, because the rest of my stuff is a lot of action stuff. I enjoy it very much, but to really dig into a character, it's been a while, and I've waited a very long time. I've passed on a lot of stuff because I just was like, I can't keep doing this stuff that's not satisfying. You know, I need to make a living, but it just doesn't make me happy. And I got this script, and I was like, oh, I can do some stuff with this, and I'm starting to feel like I'm coming into what I'm capable of as an actress with this show, and it's such a good feeling. As with any career, you guys know, like when you get something and you're doing something really good, you feel it, and you're like, I just want to keep doing this, you know. So this is that for me.
Any of the tattoos you might want to keep?
Oh man, here's the problem. I have 9 of my own tattoos that they've covered or incorporated into the designs, and they're like, just don't get any more for a while. I was like, I'm not. I think I'll be satisfied with like the full body. But if I wasn't an actor, I'd probably be sleeve. But there's an owl, I think, on my right hip that's amazing. There's some sort of coin on my left, or spoke. It's a spoke on my left hip, and it's great. It has all of New England states in the center. Everything is so intricate. I actually went into a Starbucks, and this guy, who's a tattoo artist, I guess, he was like covered. He goes, "Who does your work?" And I was like, "My makeup artist." I was like, I don't know. I'll tell you a really funny story, because it just made me think of that. We were just doing Navy SEAL training in New York, and for some reason they were making us train in the city, which you can imagine. We were right across from the Freedom Tower, but we had the windows open because we were idiots, and we were messing with some shotguns and like assault rifles and all kinds of stuff. And somebody outside, one of the construction guys outside, saw it and called the cops. And we're with Carson Ulrich, who's very high up and very talented trainer with that stuff, and straight out of Washington, And we just they were banging on the door, and I was getting into my diving uniform to go dive in the pool, and I had to come out. And I was like half naked, and I was like, "Why are the police in here?" And they were like, they were trying to arrest us because they thought we were part of ISIS, and it scared the crap out of me. And then the SWAT team had surrounded the hotel, and I was like, "This was just on Monday, you guys." And I was like, "We might need to go out in the field somewhere." So the next day we went to a military base in Jersey, like 60 miles out. We're like, "We'll totally not get in trouble here." But yeah, it's that kind of stuff. I was like, at least it looks believable. I was like, that's got to be a compliment.
I think that this character has the potential to be like a new Sarah Connor or an iconic female.
I think iconic female, yeah. There's again, I'm working with such a great team. My showrunner Martin Gero and Greg Berlanti, they're awesome, and they're very open to listening to my opinions and like my thoughts and things like that. And I want to make sure that she's not viewed as a superhero. There's a fine line there, because again, it's tough female action, that sort of thing. And I think people that enjoy the superhero genre will very much enjoy the show. But I wanted to set it in reality because I wanted to try to use this as a platform that will create more of these roles for more actresses out there. If this is done well, it's just going to pave the way, for something like that. And that's mostly my responsibility, but also the studio and the creators. Yeah.
Normally when you get a role, you have a lot of backstory and you know something about it. So how do you go about creating a character where you have amnesia and you're learning about yourself as you go?
You know what's weird? For some reason, when I read this, and I just could feel everything. I can feel what it feels like to feel lost and an outcast. I think I was pretty much an outcast my whole life, and just to feel that, and I went off my gut. I was like, God, what would this feel like? And I don't know how I could just feel it, because that's all I had, and that's all she has. And I thought, I really don't know what she was. I mean, in the beginning, she wasn't going to be a secret. So I was like, well, how does she know how to do this? And then now she's going to be. And so it's a very interesting thing for me, because I really had to put a lot of faith into the showrunner and then into my director, Mark Pellington. And just as a team, we were all finding it as we went, and it just sort of came to life. And I said, great, now we have the pilot, so now I can at least base it around that, and I can take it from there. But it's great, I get to create as I go. It's like a painter.
Did they explain the significance of how the title relates to the show?
Well, it's funny because Jane and both Jane and Kurt Weller have a blind spot. They have a part of their past that's missing. You guys will start to learn that about Weller eventually. Especially for Jane, there's this whole blackout of there's a spot in her life that she's blind to. She has no idea who she was, and she's trying to fill that. She's trying to see around this thing, which is amnesia. So in a way, it's a very hidden title, but it's pretty cool.